Women care too much. We know this. This is how we're programmed, and it's really freaking annoying.
If I swallow my fears, keep my message in a bottle, put a lock on my tears.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, my name is Ashley, and if you're returning, welcome back. Today we're gonna be talking as usual. I do my makeup. Y'all know the drill. I want to start by saying that women care too much. We know this. This is how we're programmed, and it's really freaking annoying. And I came to this topic through talking to an old friend. I hope she doesn't mind if I use her for an example, but I don't know, I just get inspiration from just talking to people or just watching stuff, or you know, whatever it might be. I get inspiration from a lot of different things. We just really are programmed to care too much, and it's just not healthy, like how much women care about people, things that we shouldn't even care about, really, like things that a man would never even care about, which is why our lives are so complicated, because of that emotion that we have. I told a story like a while ago about me when I was in my, was it my early 20s, maybe mid 20s, and I attempted to bag a homie, or you know, talk to somebody's best friend or acquaintance, or basically I got my heart broken really bad, and I said I'm gonna get revenge. And because that heartbreak was crazy, I was like, I'm gonna get revenge by talking to this other guy that the guy knew. So I told that story time, and you know, it was really embarrassing because I ended up getting like a lot of backlash for this situation, which it was funny to me, because if this was something that a man would do, it would just be like, oh well, you know, that was messed up. But if it was something that a woman does, it's like, oh my god, you can't do that, you know how it is. So, but at the time, that's what I did. I mean, I know it was wrong, I knew it was wrong, but I was like, that's the only way. I didn't have what I just didn't know how to walk away from that situation without making a complete fool of myself. But anyway, that was a while ago, so I can talk about it. But you know, what I learned from that situation was, it was a point where I was like, oh my god, like after the emotions had already passed and I had already done what I did, I felt this overwhelming sense of guilt and regret, like we always do as women. And I was just like, oh my god, I gotta make this right. What am I gonna say? People think this about me. They think I'm this type of person. I'm not this type of person. It was just a decision that I made in the heat of the moment, off of being really hurt. And I thought that people would understand because of how hurt I was, but nobody knew how hurt I was but me. Those people didn't know. Those people didn't care. All they know is you smashed a homie. So, and that's not something I recommend you guys do. If you are younger watching this, it's something that I used to preach all the time. Well, you know, if he ain't acting right, take his friend, and this, that, and the third. But it's really not something you want to do, just from a mature standpoint, just because of all the BS that comes with it. And it could potentially ruin your reputation if you are, you know, regardless, it could ruin your reputation. So unless you want to move to a different town, I didn't move, but you know, anyway, what I'm trying to say is that I made a stupid decision. People judged me. People that didn't even know me judged me once they found out, because the person was so like,
mind you, he had a whole girlfriend living in Las Vegas.
oh yeah, she did this and I can't believe it, and this, that, and the third. And the guys ended up trying to mend their little friendship, so it really made me look crazy. The part about the caring comes in because it got to the point after a while, like this went on for a while, like I feel like I had closed myself off. I didn't want to see anybody. I didn't want to talk to anybody, because it kind of just felt like everybody knew my business and knew what was going on, even though nobody cared when, you know, this guy really broke my heart. It was just, oh, you're stupid, you make bad choices in men, and da 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 da. So when it came time for me to take action, it was a different story. Well, it got to the point where I said, you know what? If people can't come up to me and ask me what happened with this situation, or know me well enough to know that something very serious had to trigger this situation for me to do something like that, because it's not like I go around doing things like that, then they just don't deserve to know me or even know my business. Like, come up with your own. It got to the point where I just was like, you know, think what you want. I'm gonna do what I want. And I said to myself, I'll never do this again, and I never did. But it was just something that went beyond other people. It was something within me that I had to sit myself down and say, you know what? These people don't know you, and if they do know you, then they know you better than this. So they'll have enough respect for you to ask you what was going on when you made that decision, blah, blah, blah. And some people did, and some people didn't. And today I don't speak to either one of them. So what I'm trying to say is, when you are trying to figure out when you need to stop caring, you know, what will people say, whether it be about a job you need to leave, whether it be about a relationship you need to leave, whether it be about, I don't know, just making a choice that would better benefit you. It might be a hard choice, but it might better benefit you. Just try to rationalize it and say to yourself, well, you know what? If you've given all that you could to this situation and it just no longer makes sense, or it's just hurting you, it's hurting your kids, it's hurting your future, your possible outcome, you're putting in way more than you're getting back out type of thing, or, you know, it's just not beneficial, then you need to move on, and you don't need to worry about what anybody is going to say about it. Because if somebody had something to say about it, why didn't they say something while X, Y, and Z was going on? Why didn't they offer you counseling? Why didn't they offer you a place to stay? Why didn't they offer you? If people have so much concern about what you're doing and what you could have done better, why didn't they sit you down and try to figure this thing out before it hit ahead the way it did? That's how you need to think about it. And you also need to think about it in the sense that whatever you're doing is causing you so much strife, then you know it's not going to benefit you in the long run. Also, consider everybody that's affected by this decision to continue doing whatever it is that is not benefiting you. How does it negatively affect other people? So take yourself out of it if you have to, and whether it's dealing with your kids or whatever. A lot of decisions, a lot of hard decisions we avoid. But, you know, if we just deal with the hard part, you know, early, take the consequence. Yes, people are going to talk junk. You know, people are always going to do that. But we care too much about what they think about us. Like, sometimes people will have you misconstrued and messed up. And I'm looking for my concealer. People will talk about you. They'll criticize you. They'll say what they would have done. They'll say a lot of stuff. But those words literally don't mean anything. Because it's going to come a point where the truth is going to come out. And that's your redemption day. That's when you biting your tongue, bearing it, dealing with the scrutiny, whatever it is. You got to deal with the scrutiny, because you being in a really bad situation can hurt you. It can kill you. I mean, you just got to deal with the scrutiny, as opposed to a lifetime of stress or bad health conditions, or whatever comes with the baggage of what you are trying to hold on to. A lot of times I think about things like, anything of God won't try to break me to the point where, you know, I just can't take it. Like, God will never give me more than I can bear. But I have so much faith that I know when I'm getting to that point. I know when to ask God, you know what, that's it. I give up total control. I need you to take this. Sometimes we don't even ask for him to take certain things from us yet, because we know we're not prepared or ready for that outcome. You need to ask him to prepare you for that outcome. And after that, you just got to let it go. telling anybody to let anything go. I'm just saying, you know, if there's something that you need to let go or not. And today you probably just needed an extra push, an extra, you know, I need a sign, well, this is it type of thing. I've been there. Even when it comes to like marriage and stuff like that, like I know that's really hard, knowing when to walk away from that. And that's something I can't sit here and tell anybody. But if you're toying with the idea and you've tried everything you can try, and this thing is only gonna mess you up in the long run and take you even longer to recover from, that's a decision that you have to make. In-laws and all of that, that's totally, that sucks. It's really hard to deal with all of that. But those things do get better with time. And people know their family members, first of all. People know if they have a messed up family member or whatever. It's just like, we always try to plead our case as women, especially. We're like, but you know, but I did everything I could. Yeah, people know that. We don't think people know that, but people know that. And when people get to asking those tough questions, because they're not only going to ask you, they're going to ask that other person. And when that other person starts giving them stuff that doesn't make any type of sense, people are not stupid. Like, if they're going to try to lie their way out of something, it's only so long you can lie about stuff before the truth comes out. So it's better to just shut your mouth, grin and bear it. And that's really tough advice, but I've had to do it on more than one occasion. Hell, when I used to get in trouble in school, when I had to wear them ugly clothes, when I got in trouble for lying or hiding papers in my book bag or whatever it might be. You know, it was at a point where there was nothing I could say. Like, well, this is what it is. I messed up. You know, I made a bad choice or bad choices. People are going to laugh at me. But it says a lot about those people. You see, you learn a lot about people when you get put in those tough situations, because you learn a lot about people as far as their level of understanding. People that you never thought will be in your corner will be in your corner. We are all faced with really hard choices in life, you know, and we don't want to take the responsibility for being the one that put the nail in the coffin, or the problems that could arise after you have to dead a situation. But there's always help. There's always avenues of navigating through things. So why linger on something that needs to end, a chapter that needs to close, when it's totally toxic? Totally toxic. And people, I mean, it's only so long people are going to try to pull the wool over your eyes. Like, people are smart enough to know the difference. I think it just comes down to caring too much. Really. When you let people have access to you too long, that's even killing you. Like, it's draining you, your subconscious, you're putting yourself in a state of, you just lose sight of reality, honestly, I feel. And like I said, we've all been there. But today, you needed a sign, and this is it. I encourage you to deal with whatever it is that you have lingering and close the chapter if need be. Don't be in denial or try to make light of a situation where there is none. It's dark, and everything around it is dark, and some people need to wallow in that. You'll see some crazy things happen, but it's necessary. I felt the need to speak this today, and I've been putting it off, but that's typically what happens with things that I really need to say. I'll put it off, I'll put it off, I'll put it off. And then of course you have to figure out the right way to say things on YouTube to convey a message. There's a lot of things that go into making a video, especially in an advice video. You never want to come off like you know it all or whatever. I try to speak on things that I've personally been through, and nobody's situations are ever 100% the same, but I just feel like people know, but beyond a reasonable doubt, sometimes they just need that extra confirmation. So, okay, y'all, and it's also important to know that, you know, staying in something that you know you need to get out of is also saying something. It's a consent to whatever treatment you're getting or whatever's going on. You're just saying, you know, that's fine. I'm allowing this to continue. And it's like, it's insane. And sometimes we really just have to sit down and put things in perspective in order for us to see it that way. Some of the choices that we make are based on insanity because we expect a different result, and we're doing the same things over and over. We're allowing people to do the same things over and over, and we are expecting a different result. Or maybe it's not even about people, maybe it's about a job or something like that. We're hoping that one day our check will be more than what it is, when we know we are on an income that where it's never going to change. It's going to be like that. So we have to make those choices, you guys, because life will pass you right by. And what's going to happen is you're teaching your kids, you know, that this is okay, or, you know what I'm saying? You really have to put things in perspective like that. I hate to be Debbie Downer or whatever, but use your kids. If it's something where you need to get out of something, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta say to yourself sometimes, do I really want my kid or kids to think that this type of treatment is okay, or this type of lifestyle is okay, or living this way is okay? And these things pass down. So take the necessary steps to make a hard decision rather than be in a lifetime of turmoil, stress, and whatever. Just take that temporary hit and move on with your life so that you can open doors to something much more magical, fulfilling. Like, you just don't know. You know what's going to happen if you continue to allow this thing, but you don't know what's going to happen if you change it for the better. And that is a scary thought, but you, like I said, you know for sure if you continue with this, what it's gonna bring. And if you do this, you know, you might have a little struggle, a little kickback, but overall it will be a better decision potentially. Another thing, y'all, you need to surround yourselves or find people that will support you only with really good decisions, not just people that will only tell you what you want to hear or let you continue to be in a bad situation. I'm not saying break up with those people, but you also need to have people in your corner that are going to give you the hard truths, or, you know, just fight for you if they know that. Like me, one thing that I do is I constantly run, like when I'm scared, like a decision, or I don't know, like I wanted to stay in a comfortable situation, even though I didn't know what I'm doing now was best for me. But you know, it's easy to stay in what's comfortable. It's really scary to venture out, but that's why you got to really get in tune with yourself so that you can vibrate on a really high frequency, so that you can know and feel intuitively when something is for you and when something is not. Even if something is not for you and you want it to be for you, you know, you have to be open to receiving codes or signs or synchronicities, or, you know what I mean? So maybe that's meditation for some. Maybe that's going outside and walking on barefoot just to be grounded. Maybe that's getting more involved in church. Maybe that's reaching out to a professional, but, you know, or a life coach even. But when you don't want to take those steps, that's a fear. So the inevitable will occur if you ask the universe for something versus just letting yourself float amongst the universe and just be thrown here and there like a bubble or a ping pong. No, you have to ask the universe, which means you have to speak things, you have to write things down, and they will manifest. You have to focus on the outcome you want, not the outcome that you have or the outcome that is negative. So for instance, if I wanted to lose weight, I wouldn't focus on the weight I am now. I would focus on the weight that I want to be. I would focus on what I want to look like. I wouldn't put time and energy into something that I didn't want. The more you focus on that thing that you don't want as your outcome, the more it will manifest. So maybe people just don't know how to do that or how to start that. But the thing that helps me the most is writing things down, meditating, and vibrating on a really high frequency. Yeah. Honestly, the thing about vibrating on high frequencies for me, I just feel like it shows me a lot about what I don't want, because what I don't want, I can't even like, I don't know, I can't even talk about it. I can't even show interest in it. My body won't allow me to, like my mind won't. It doesn't make sense. Like my body won't compute it. Like for instance, when I just lost my lashes, when someone wants me to talk junk, or I don't know, if it's a conversation that I notice is not going anywhere, or it won't produce a good outcome, I don't even want to discuss it. Like, and you know, that doesn't make me like high and mighty. It doesn't mean like I can't talk about people and stuff like that. Like, no, like I can poke fun, I can, have a good time. It's not like I'm that unrelatable, but it's just like you are more aware of the energy that people put into things. It's not, you're just more aware. That's the only way I could put it. You're more aware of, like, wait a minute. So if I put my energy into this is what's going to manifest from it. But that's not what I want. But that's not bringing me income. But that's not, it just doesn't make sense, and your body will reject it. So I would like to get to the point where I can do that on a regular basis. Like I want to be so good at it. Like, I don't want to say I want to be like the Dalai Lama, but I do. This really turned into something else. But I just feel like I can speak better, and when I'm being authentic and I'm being organic and I haven't written any ideas down, it's easier for me to spit out what I'm trying to say instead of trying to like nitpick about what to say and what not to say, and then I end up not even saying what I wanted to say. I'm trying to find my lash glue. So the best thing I could tell you when it comes to knowing when to not care, to focus on what is beneficial in your life, what would bring happiness in your life. Like, honestly, what is it that would bring you joy? It doesn't matter what it is. It's just, that's between you and your self and your higher power. And it doesn't even matter for you to tell someone else. These are things that you have to be okay with knowing and saying even when no one's around. And when you do that when no one is around, that's how you know, like, this is truly what you want and nobody else. So do that, get comfortable with that, make it a wine night, or some people refer to it as a vision board, or these things are not silly. These things are necessary. Ideas are necessary. Creativeness is necessary. Being able to understand your thoughts and communicate them effectively is necessary. Knowing what it is that you desire is necessary. Knowing what it is that keeps you alive every day is necessary. These simple things will help you make the hard decisions in your life. It's just fundamentals and foundation, and you'll stumble, you'll fall, we don't always make the right decisions, but take time. Don't make every day just I survived today. Take a weekend to brainstorm. Take time if you have to on the weekend to brainstorm. You can use that time as your personal self-development, and get you a glass of wine and just write out your ideas, and just write out the things that you don't want to say in front of anybody else, and write out your 5-year plan, your the next couple of months where you want to travel plan. You can write out meals that you want to start cooking. You can write out any vacations that you want to save up for your kids, and all of that will help you so much. It will help you start to manifest ways to get the money for things that you didn't even know you could do. That's just how it works. So I wanted to make sure I shared this video with you all. Let me know your comments down below, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Make sure you subscribe, turn on your post notifications. See you soon. Bye.